Alright, we've got yet another series from the round of 16 of the Wisdom of Thoth tournament. Starting here in the blue color is Grass the Kid. Man 16-year-old, old enough to own a PayPal account, plays in the tournaments right away as he can. He's doing pretty well at it too. On the other side we've got Lordi. I don't know much about him, but I know that he's been around for a while now. Frequent tournament player. Going with a little bit of Odin here on Tropical Mirage is a good idea. Zeus and Odin is a bit of a classic matchup. Zeus can definitely amass a death ball that's a little too much for Odin to handle, but at the same time, Odin can just go for a faster heroic age, freeze that whole thing, build a hill fort on top of it, and suddenly it's not so easy to strike back. Especially when you get to a large number of throwing axemen supported by raiding cavalry. That can be pretty potent, guys. It's a good amount of giraffes. It's fairly nearby as well, but Odin definitely advantage in the hunting situation. Also, Lordi finding a really nice sweet spot here between the gold mine and the palm trees. Sharing with just one ox cart means that you don't have to make the third one. You can devote more time to training villagers that then gather resources. Eventually you have to make that third ox cart, but seems like here until the classical age it's not going to be necessary, so lots of extra resources to go with here. Now, Grass is going for the temple. Very strange location for it. It's almost like begging to be raided. Which might happen. That might happen. Here's the ravens. And the advance is gonna be through Freya. So nothing too crazy there. We shouldn't be expecting raiding cavalry. By the way, quick shout out to our website subscribers who are making these kind of tournaments possible. Much appreciated. Make sure to collect your perks. If you want to become a website subscriber, check out the stuff in the Twitch About section. Or the YouTube description section has a link as well. Early hearse here is something that could go out there and actually bully these villagers a little bit together with the Valkyrie. That's something we sometimes get to see. Although their primary purpose is to build the longhouses and to have some defense against the Minotaur. Six on wood. Only 3 on gold. Grass definitely gonna need some more on gold if he wants to immediately make hoplites and Toxotes, which is, I assume, what he's interested in. But be careful to not make the buildings right next to the forest, because this is gonna get burned for sure. He's also not setting up a second lumberjack situation for himself, which could result in him getting burned. Of course, the Valkyrie immediately getting bolted, which is another reason to keep the Herser at home, to build longhouses. Nice, the Raven looking. There's an Odysseus coming out, but it's a little too late to stop the Raven. Unfortunate. Lordi should be able to get the forest fire off. This TC can't shoot, man. Missing every projectile. Well, Odysseus is out, but went the wrong distance. Direction, I mean. And that should be a good forest fire spot right there. Maybe Lordi is waiting for a moment to what? I guess I moved the hunters away. from the giraffes, but now they can just go back. The trees are gone. It's all good now, right? It does open up the hunters to raiding later, though, which could be very nice. Oh, the Minotaur is already almost dead. Lordi whacking it with the hammer a bunch of times. Where's the ox cart? Lordi. Ah! Where's ox cart? He picked up both relics. One of them is the Kefara of Apollo, which helps with the movement speed. Well, that's very useful now that they have to walk all that distance. We got the Arrows of the Alpha for building pierce damage as well. Your ox cart got bugged out. Ah. It was between the gold mine and the house. Well, that's awkward. Grass is having to pull back. That's 6 raiders versus 7 villagers. A little bit too favored for a cavalry. If there were any units nearby, that would be helpful. Now the hoplite will be helping out quite a bit here. The counterattack also not looking too bad. Grass really likes to go for the heavy aggression, so no wonder that he's playing exactly this style. Using restoration on the villagers, but still loses 2 of them. That is not great. And the raiding calves still get away, and they're Odin, so regeneration is coming in there very soon. House is destroyed, actually housing Lordi, and now the longhouse seems to be next. The man's not done. There's plenty of units available, but Grass is starting to get ahead in the numbers overall. And that's looking to be a problem. Is that a new Minotaur? I think so. Second Minotaur. I mean, I'm here for this kind of meta change. Really enjoying it. Villagers once again getting attacked. They don't strike back, but they're done with the giraffes anyway, so they can leave now. Find a better hunting spot. That's a good hunting spot right there. Definitely worth protecting too. I think the raven might have seen it. Minotaur goes down, and the throwing axes are enough to hold this. I think the wall still gets destroyed, yep. And that should be okay here for Grassengroom. I think he's got a really good position here. The raiding cast starting to try to wrap around, which is stressful in this situation, but what Grass does is actually just hug the forest, which gives him a reduced surface area to deal with. Now comes in the Minotaur, and Hoppers have been doing a pretty good job anyway. He's microing his Toxotes onto the throwing axemen, taking them out with ease. And the Hoplites can hold just fine against the raiding cav that remain. Really good job. Now the raiding cav are essentially toast. They're gonna have to do a long wraparound. Loop around, sorry, to gain back their health. But the Odin regeneration is gonna take some time. So meanwhile, the tower is a good target. The Toxotes can shoot ox carts and villagers. The longhouses, I think, might be in TC range, but maybe the very edge of them can be attacked by the hoplites. We're gonna find out. Still just basic hoplites. Yeah, this is a little tough. I guess the next target could be the sentry tower and the houses. Raiders still looking for some kind of damage. A little bit of regeneration has happened, but this is not something you dive the main with, that's for sure. The TC provides a little bit too much fire support. So ideally you find some weak hunters that are isolated. Medium hoplites are in. Oh, here it comes, the Minotaur! And the kitchen knives. It's more than enough defenses against medium raiders, man. Basic raiders would have been absolutely ruffle-stomped. Medium raiders, definitely worth keeping them for another day. Once they have that upgrade, they suddenly start mattering. That was enough throwing axemen to keep our boy alive. Lord is striking back. And I'm not sure anyone will get to live to tell the tale. Whoa. I have a medium raiders looking for some hunters. They find the 6 villagers, that's perfect, and they're fast enough to escape from this very easily. They've got enough health as well to, I think, easily take them down without losing anything. Might need a little pullback micro in there, but that's okay. Meanwhile, the ox cart is super exposed. Will be taken down as well, and there's not really enough here to deal with this. Grass will have to run away, but a fight would have been unfavorable for both sides. Grass is probably ready to do another Minotaur. Looking at the situation. They have more than enough food. Not enough gold for heroic, so a Minotaur seems very reasonable. Maybe even 2 Minotaurs. Which would make this next fight absolutely abysmal for Lordi. The man doesn't have enough purse here, not even close. Getting the Minotaur in front to tank the damage from throwing axemen would be sick. The raiders have run around for long enough now to mostly heal up, tying down a lot of the infantry. For the dwarves, we got a little bit of upgrades, but nothing pickaxe related or anything like that. Which actually shows itself in the current gold stockpile for our Odin player. Once again, using the forest to his advantage is Grass, trying to pick off the throwing axeman as best he can. Hoplites in the front, taking the damage from the raiders and holding them back, killing them pretty quickly too. But there's too many raiders. Even with the Minotaur, I'm not entirely sure Grass can hold this, but if there's this much retreating from the north... Okay, I guess that's enough hoplites. 11 hoplites now. That's more than there's raiders almost. Looking good. Let's get into the pyramids, boys. Minotaur's huge, man. Yeah, it's one more raider dead. And I think we're in that situation where Grass can start gold controlling. If he finds the gold mines, he can go for it right away, but Lordi has them in 2 locations, which is very nice. Can he reach Skadi? I highly doubt it. He doesn't have any food income whatsoever. Just a little bit from the goats. It's just enough to keep the villagers going. Not enough to actually get the raiding cav out. So it's one or the other. And because raiding cav are cheaper than villagers, the raiding cav will come out first and the villagers will not come out. Can he just destroy the TC here? I think if he goes for it, he might lose too many hoplites. Especially if this army comes around to defend. The raid in the back is also pretty sick, getting rid of a bunch of villagers. But in the end, not all that meaningful besides some idle time. Meanwhile, Grass decides it's time to actually just fight the army. That I have 3 Minotaurs, he says, that can wreck the raiding calf here. Let's do it that way. But what would be much more important is to get on top of the gold mines. The military is replaceable. The villagers, not so much. You're capped to the 1 TC's worth of production. So killing villagers is always more meaningful than killing a few army units. Although this is an absolute massacre, I must say. Minotaurs are absolutely eating up the throwing axemen together with the Toxotes, and the hoplites can now get on top of the town center. Here come the raiders though, there's 10 of them, that's a pretty good number, but Grass really quickly shifts around and goes for them. There's 3 Minotaurs once again. And together with the hoplites, I'm sure they can handle this just fine. Raiders going down left and right. Lordi has essentially no units left. We're talking about 107 population to under 50 now. How much longer can the man keep this going? He's having to shift around for hunting with the zebras from the gold mine. He had the gold, didn't have the food. And Grass punished it. It's a quick 1-0 in favor of the youngling. Let's Let's see how this continues. It is a best of 5 after all, so it could be quite a back and forth. Hopefully it will work. But that is the actual game from Woobly. It's still loading very slowly, so I'm starting to be concerned about this one. Maybe it won't work. Nah, it doesn't. It does not work. Somebody resigned it, and then they played the actual game, which didn't get recorded, I guess. Don't know what to do now. They only played 3 games, and the middle one is not valid. So, I assume someone resigned. They went back, and it's an invalid thing. Game 2 goes to grass. I don't have the game, so we're not gonna cast it. Welcome to game 3. There is no game 2. Game 2 was played, but the replay doesn't exist. So whatever was recorded there actually wasn't the game that happened. Really strange error, but I assume something must have gone wrong. So anyways, let's just focus on game 3. Game 2 went to Grassengroom, and it was like a match on Midgard. Yes, that's what it was. As for this one, we've got Poseidon for grass. As for Lordi, it's going with Zeus. Well, makes sense. Poseidon gets the advantage of having lore, so you get to hunt in this arcade cage where normally you would go for pigs, but the hunt will come closer, so you can just rely on that. He already had hunt in TC range, so you could just lure it in, shoot it down with the boys, and you're all good to go. But yeah, as for Lordi, he doesn't quite have such luxuries. He did it with the Aurochs luring, that was good, but he doesn't have lure. So after this, he's gonna have to rely on pigs. Putting exactly 4 villagers makes it so that your villager production actually matches your food income-ish. Hunt is a little bit better for it. With piggies, you can still get it done, but you have to do some forced drop-offs like he just did. More so than you do with the hunt. And now we've got a little bit of focus on fishing ships. There were 4, 5. If you have 6, that's kind of enough to advance with. Some people go up to more than that, 7, 8. Some people go to 9. I think that's risky in a Greek mirror because you'll be looking for a relatively fast advance time where you don't want to get overwhelmed by the other guy's superior ship count. So yeah, this is where we are. Tempo coming up for grass, tempo coming up for Lordi. Everything's very matched up. 6 ships. 6 ships. Grass going further than that. So is Lordi. Yeah, 7 or 8 is okay. 9 is pushing it a little. But he's gonna go for 9. Same with Lordi. Okay, second Aurochs is getting eaten up, so everything works out quite good in the end. Funnily enough, grass has relied on pigs the whole time. So, lure doesn't in fact have much of an impact here. That's strange. Usually you do this because the pigs are just slow for what you need. And Athena is gonna come in faster for her Zeus player now because he was hunting. That is really something that Grassengroom should have adjusted. But it's not that big of a deal, I guess. The advance times are very rarely ever the reason why someone wins or loses. It's gonna go with Hermes. And it's gonna be a double dog for both players, of course. 9 fishing ships, of course, means that you're gonna have a lot of food. And very quick advance time for Lordi. Where is the second dock? Okay, down here. They're not gonna cover each other. He's more caring about getting more fishing ships out or something, or just getting better drop-offs. Usually what you want is to make sure that these fishing ship spots are really protected. And that they can very quickly garrison. And also so that your triremes are closely together when they're trained. So interesting placement. Nothing that you can't make up for though. Boat is going to be available to reduce Grass's ship count as well. But very often it's kept for heroes and stuff. Which I haven't seen either player making heroes thus far. Splitting dogs for potential pestilence. True. True. Although pestilence isn't usually a big issue at all. It does stop your whole fishing situation for a while, but then you strike back with restoration later. The docks aren't going to be destroyed, that's for sure. It's a good argument though. You can always make a third dock here later, when you have the wood. One ship's destroyed. Good micro by Grass. He split the damage across his ships, so well done with that. But Minotaur in the gold mine area already suffered some damage from the TC fire, I would assume. Theseus is also nearby, so I don't think he'll get much done with this, but the bolt on the Theseus is actually quite meaningful. Can he get the villager kill? Really good micro by Grass. Denying it, and the kitchen knives plus TC will take down the Minotaur. Very nicely done. I don't know where the centaur has gone. Where has it gone? I assume it's long dead. Restoration is going to be used in the middle. Ceasefire going to block it, but that makes sure that all ships go to full. And we got 1 minute peace. Well, that should be occupied by just more ships being made. Grass not getting housed at all. It's his only objective now. He doesn't need to do anything else but that. And he's making the houses, as he should. Same goes for Lordi. He's got some houses already in progress. I like the wall off on his side here. No idea what happened to the centaur. Completely missed it. That's fine. Alright, 16 triremes to 17 triremes. Very close game. And ceasefire is about to expire. I don't think we've got any upgrades of any sort here. Hand axe. I guess that's very reasonable because you got a big number of villagers on wood. Usually 15 plus by this point in the game. And both players doing their best to do a little bit of pullback micro. What's really important is you pick up one ship at a time, not 4, not 7. Because you also have to retarget your ships if something's being pulled back. Because then this happens, your ships start following and not shooting, which reduces your overall DPS, and suddenly your army starts getting wrecked. Or fleet starts getting wrecked. Grass is in a pretty good position overall. In terms of all the damage he got to deliver. Is he up in ship count, however? 12 to 10. It's a start. But if he keeps retreating too many times, Lordi will get to keep shooting. But once again, he's falling for the pullback micro. It's very important to keep your eyes on this. And going back to do your houses should probably be started off by retreating from the fight, so that this kind of stuff doesn't happen to you. Nobody wants to follow you into your docks, obviously. 12 to 9 ships. Grass has a pretty good advantage here if he can destroy every single trireme with his reinforcements as well. I think he might actually have this game on Lordi. It's that simple. Mediterranean. You start getting ahead, you probably will stay ahead. Especially if there's a little bit of spare resources to spend. He's putting back the villagers very nicely, so good attention to details there. Even getting the hippocampus into the fight to draw some fire. I mean, it will get hit by the triremes. They can't dodge it. Nothing's fast enough in this game to dodge triremes because the track rating is 10, which is a questionable balance there. Probably should provide some micro opportunities with at least like 6.6 speed and up. Oh well. Hero gets taken care of, no problem. Now the dogs are actually getting shot down by these 14 triremes. It'll be very difficult for Lordi to rebuild. He's not even trying. I think he's looking for the TCs and heroic age. I think Grass should recognize this and do his own. Yeah, he is. So he's ahead on water. He's a few seconds behind with the TCs, which is very acceptable, of course. And he can get a third TC very soon. Just needs a little bit of gold. All he has to do is move the wood villagers. He's got much more wood than anything else. He can make a bunch of fishing ships he can get per scene once his TC is placed, giving him even more food from the ships. A bunch of fishing ships getting killed. He doesn't actually have enough triremes to destroy all 2 docks. So that is something to consider, but he's killing the fishing ships. What do the docks even matter at this point? Lordi doesn't have enough for the third TC, I don't think. PC is gonna join in and check out what the party here is all about. And Grass going for the third TC, so being behind on the second TC will be instantly offset. He can, like I said, get per scene. He can get more fishing ships out. Take some of these middle spots. They're not as good. They're really far away from the docks themselves, and it will take some time to get the drop-off sorted out, but oh well. It's more fishing ships nonetheless. Spending some wood for food is always a good deal. Then you wouldn't have to farm. But again, long drop-off distances are not really feasible there. So what you'd want is to place a dock here and then get these 2 spots. Place another dock here, get these 2 spots. That's actually more efficient than farming. So should definitely consider that. This is safer, but it's not faster. Something to keep in mind. Like, compare these gather rates even without per scene. I'm pretty sure the fishing ship is a lot better. 0.61 and 0.69. I'm wrong. Per scene is what changes it. Sorry. Per scene is like 30%. So there's that. But the man's not getting it. Huh. Makes sense why the fishing ship numbers are so big in terms of the upgrade numbers are big. Both per scene and Salt and Fora upgrades are huge numerically. Is slapping the TC just to slow it down a little bit. The kitchen knife villagers will come in to actually slow it down. It's still progressing somewhat. Now that the villagers are pulled off to do the kitchen knife fight though. I don't know, man. Grass, this is a weird move. You're not gonna steal that TC. You have fewer villagers here, so taking the fight. I mean, he's ahead by a TC. So every time a villager dies here, he can just pop out new ones. He's already had 56 to 48, but it's not working out really, is it? Yeah, that is not working out. In terms of farms getting placed down, oh god, Lordi. The triple layer farming is a little bit uncalled for. Let's say that much. There's not enough villagers for that. You have 3 town centers, you can use them all for first layer farming. The second layer is not too big of a sin, but third layer? even has me squinting. Don't do that at home. Overall, Lordi is in a lot of trouble, being behind by 10 villagers, several fishing ships. His last dock is getting destroyed as Grass the Kid made a bunch of additional triremes. And several archery ranges are being made now on the front lines to try to deal with what remains. Stables getting added in as well. That'll be great against all these villagers. He's got that on both sides going, walling off as well to deny a large trade route, whereas he himself can get an enormous one. From here to here, supposedly. The dock is gonna take down several of the triremes, which actually Grass doesn't want to keep around anyway. Soon he'll need the population space to get back out there. What is going on? It takes them forever to realize they can shoot the fishing ships. But they're now all gone. Grass can get rid of at least a handful of triremes. Hell, maybe he can go around the edge of the sea to pick off some of these farms. Help fix the layout that we see there. Hippolyta also around, but there's a wall here, which is probably gonna come up. So he's gonna get a kill on the villager. Aphrodite's getting clicked in. Lordi fairly far away from the heroic age himself, but probably a drop-off or two should fix the situation. Granary, of course, does allow for the multi-layer farming to be okay. So you place a granary here and here. Less squinting. Less squinting after that. This goes down. But that Jason is a tanky boy. Grass will have to micro against those Toxotes himself. His Toxotes now medium, which will give them a little bit of an edge here. Going through the forest though, of course, escape to the triremes. Those are the best 2 population archers in the game, right? It's crazy the ships cost the same population like a single Toxotes, man. But it keeps everything reasonable in terms of the number of houses you need to make in the early classical age, so makes sense on that front. Dionysus is coming through. Maybe Lordi can make something happen with the Scylla and the Hydra. Maybe that's possible, but I mean, look, Grass is already getting Sought Amphora, at which point the farms can no longer really catch up with the fishing ship efficiency. 0.79 already versus 0.76, and this is about to finish. We'll check back. Budget Chimera ready to scream. And Grass is going up Artemis. Gonna delete the town center, no doubt. There's just not enough buildings nearby to protect each. Alright, now these got 1.04 gather rate. Try and do that with farms. It's not happening. 0.76 for the farms. Even if you had flood control, it's not quite there. Curse is going through. Oh, there's barely any Toxotes left, man. This is brutal. It's a health-based god power, so if you can hit these low HP units, you're going to get more piggies out of it. Would like to see Grass put down the fortress there. There we go. Exactly where my mouse cursor was. I like it. Where's the Scylla? Oh, it's not really doing anything. Well, meanwhile, Grass is gonna greet it with 6 Pentaconners. Goodbye, Scylla. You ugly beast. Take that. Well, that's gonna not need any further explanation. It's gone. Meanwhile, the fortress has taken a little bit of fire from the archers, so good for our our Zeus player, but this is gone. This is gone. And Lordi is gone. Grassengroom takes the series 3-0. Moving on into the round of 8 as well. Lordi gets left in the dust, but with the promise of being able to try again in the future. Thanks for playing. We want to thank our MetaPlace website subscribers. Your contribution helps us keep the project sustainable. As we reach higher subscription goals, you are helping us cover more and more behind-the-scenes costs, such as video editing. Check out our subscription page using the link in the description, and remember to collect your perks. We will see you the next time.